Yeah.
And those are all additional arcs flying through space.
Yeah.
Ready to wreck some more planets.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would like to see a sequel to this game. There's plenty they led into that could possibly be it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest. I kind of don't, because it feels like it's just a complete circle of a game as is.
That's
like
one of the problems with and if I can go on a very, very brief tangent with this, that's one of the problems with making sequels.
I'll set my timer for 10 minutes.
One of the problems with making sequels for a standout game that does something really special. Because what are you going to do? What made that game stand out and special happened in that game. What are you going to do with a sequel? Are you just going to make more of the same? It's not stand out and special anymore. Now it's just the same, like a level pack almost. Even if you go to the extent of trying to come up with new mechanics and new gimmicks to make something that is genuinely new and interesting, you're still at this point familiar with the character, the world, the personality of the game. There's only so much you can do. So, you only have a couple options, which are, one, you can just let the game stand as it is, or two, you can go ahead and make that sequel anyway, knowing that it will never live up to the first game, or three, you can try to do something new and unique. You can try to do something new and unique anyway. And doing that runs a very large risk of alienating a lot of the people that were there for the first game. And in this vein, I can speak to Axiom Verge. Amazing game. Absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, that was one of the standout... do we still call them Metroidvanias for now, or we...
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a Metroidvania as far as I know.
It was a standout Metroidvania game, and probably one of the stars of the genre for the longest time.
Yeah, absolutely amazing game. What do they do with a sequel? Well, they could, on one hand, just pick up where the first game left off, make another game that's very similar to the first one and does maybe some new quirky things here and there, but it'll still very much feel like more of the same. And in the end, it won't have nearly that same spark that the first one had. So it'll lose, even though what the first game did was so amazing, more of that same would just be, even if you could do a lot to add some new unique stuff to it, it would still feel very... It just won't be the same experience that you had with that first game. And they didn't take that route. Instead, they did make Axiom Verge 2, and they went that third option I had, which is doing something completely different. Axiom Verge 2 is almost nothing like Axiom Verge 1, other than the fact that it's side view and you can jump. The environments are different, the characters are different, the personality is different, the gameplay is different, the landscape is different, everything. The story is different, everything. And what this does is it makes the second game not really even feel connected to the first game. And I feel like Axiom Verge 2 in this vein did actually a pretty good job in making it require the first game to get the full experience of the second one, but also not feeling like the first game at all. But at the same time, it's still so different from the first game that if you liked the first game for what it was, you may not like the second game because it is not what you liked out of the first game. And that's actually where I am in the ballpark. A lot of people liked Axiom Verge 2. I didn't. It was because it was too different from what I liked about the first one. But that's a risk you take. So, in speaking of sequels, they only have so many options, and none of them are great.
Well, I mean, I don't want to necessarily point out the obvious answer, but just Mega Man it.
Yeah. And, like,
Because, like,
that, I mean, that's the second option.
Because, like, the Commander circuit just basically said there are 10 circuits on every arc, and didn't necessarily say all the circuits had to be the same throughout.
Well,
So
yeah, and that's the second option, effectively, which is you make something new, introduce some new mechanics here and there, but overall it still has the same game feel as the first
yeah,
one.
tweak what didn't work last time, introduce new mechanics that complement the gameplay and everything.
Yeah, and what you end up with could very well be an amazing game, but it will never have the impact of the first game. So, you do what you gotta do. You make the decision that you want to make with what you have.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the ballpark of, like, I would like to see a sequel a couple years down the line. Do not push yourselves.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they don't, it was an amazing game. I loved it. Every moment of it. God, those character animations were great. I'm gonna miss Colonel and his making Kai go.
Yeah.
Also, we're not done yet. You still have 2 compendium bits to get.
Yeah, there was an unbelievable amount of effort put into the development of this. The tiny little details, how fluid all of the animations are. It's absurd how much, as someone who makes games and knows what it takes, it is absurd the amount of tiny details they put into this.
There's your last 2 chips.
All right. And I am not in the least expecting... There's no little dot blinking on there anymore.
Ah, yeah. I guess it's because technically we've done all the missions available.
Yeah, we've done it.
They're all talking about the earthquake.
Yeah. Yeah, so it seems like the dialogue is all kind of pre-final. Given that they updated the map, I was kind of expecting everybody to have some kind of post-completion dialogue.
Yeah, I guess it's weird, but... Alright, let's get these chips all decodified. Let's save those 2 at the top for last.
Characters?
Yes.
So, bosses.
So we got Colonel down here.
The Commander Circuit.
The source of the virus army, the true evil.
I don't know, he wasn't that evil.
Nah, he
just had a mission and also wanted to see the stars again.
Oh, like I said about the whole evil Spock thing, he thought that you guys wanted the bots to worship you and everything, and in the end, they were just like, no, we're kind of tired of this whole going around for people we don't even know, and we keep leaving these bots behind to die for no reason, so we're just tired of that.
Yeah.
So his logic versus your emotions kind of collided, and just he lost out in the end.
Yeah, and like
times.
he just makes these bots, so he doesn't really view them as anything unique. They're just
He's following his programming
Yeah,
as he
he's
sees
just-
fit. And even in the end, he just wanted one little moment of in the stars again, because he actually enjoyed being out there.
nameless.
An ordinary bot that became the current
Ah.
gravity circuit. That was you.
It's me.
That was who you originally were before you became up. The gravity
circuit.
Wait a minute, that's you!
It me!
And that's all the chips, baby.
Is some random... We kind of look like one of the guards?
I think there are some bots in the opening level that you see getting rescued, and you kind of come off as one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess even the regular not guards can kind of look like... Like, he's got them big old shoulder pads.
Yeah, but he works here. Shoulder pads are not optional.
Oh, he doesn't have them.
No, he has them. He just doesn't have them as big.
Well, we got the same ones he does.
No, you don't. Those are just shoulders. Those are pads.
Yeah, we do look a little more civilian.
Yeah, this is the Guardian Corps.
Not like a ton, though. Like, it's still very similar. Like, our ear spikes are a little smaller. Yeah.
So
that's that.
Yep, overall impressions. I like this game. This is pretty good.
Yeah, this game is absolutely amazing. I've already mentioned the stupid amount of detail put into the absolutely amazing artwork in this game. In between environment art, boss art, everything. It's all absolutely amazing. I, unfortunately, when we record for the sake of recording, volumes are turned down and headphones are on and all of that mess, so I have a hard time hearing the game. So I can't comment a lot on the music. That's the one thing that I feel like I miss out on.
Yeah, I actually like the music. It's been pretty chill overall. There have been some bits here and there that kind of remind me of different games, like outside of the Mega Man series. Like there's one I swear reminds me of like a Sonic song, and it's funny, just to me. But overall, it's just been, yeah, that music's great.
Yeah, it even grays out.
Yeah, you're all done with your mission. Now you can just relax until a possible sequel.
Yeah, and then, so unfortunately, I can't really comment much on the music. The gameplay is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
There have been so many times that I look back at this and went like, you know what? So many people have that statement that they always say that the gameplay feels so good that when I die or mess up, it's my mistake, not the game's. I remember playing through this and going like, you know what? It finally clicks with me on that statement. It's definitely those moments of, yeah, it feels like I messed up, not the game, just me.
And I feel like...
Except those stupid single platforms. Those can go to hell.
I would say the chief thing that makes something feel like it's your fault or not is how much randomness is in. Randomness, and to a degree, how much precision it expects of you. Because randomness, of course, is, and this is one thing that I actually wasn't super fond of, the final phase of the final boss. Because what bots spawned in was random. At least as far as I could tell. And that meant that interacting with the enemies and whatever the boss was doing at the time, you could just be put in a position where you couldn't do a lot. And so that felt a little bit less like it was my fault. I could still do a lot to control my own destiny, of course. It wasn't just hands off.
Especially that one bot that hucked that ball at you. They just ended that
goodness.
Run. That was mean.
But otherwise, even the final ball, I died like 1 billion times against him, but very few times did I feel like I died outside of my own control. If I died, it was like, okay, I died because I haven't learned enough about what's going on. Or once I have learned enough, I died because I hit the wrong button. It was entirely my fault. And commenting on the final boss, I think on the winning run I gave some minor commentary here and there. But first phase of Colonel is easy. Play defensively, watch him, and dive in. You can usually get in a hit after each time he attacks. After he does his big, like, try to grab you and pile drive you move, you can hop behind him and get, like, 3-4 hits in. Second phase Colonel, he effectively removes his delay between moves. So he's just always doing something. So it's almost never safe to, like, oh, I'll just hang... Oh, and the lowered ceiling helps, too, in that you just can't get away from him. So you're just always stuck next to him, dealing with him, and he does not leave himself open. There are still things you can do to dodge his attacks, like if you see, oh, he jumped way high in the air. Yeah, he's going to pound the ground and, like, send out a shockwave, run under him. Or if he's spinning back and forth, just get the heck away from him. Don't just stand there and take that. But his second phase Colonel is largely just a beat the crap out of him until he dies. Dodge what you can, and it won't be that bad. You'll lose like a quarter of your health, given that you'll lose half of one bar and you have 2 bars. You'll lose like a quarter of your health, but that's fine. The Commander, the first 2 phases of the Commander are very learnable, because he has very static moves that he uses. He only has like 3 or 4 moves. 1 move, 2 move, 3. He has 4 moves, I think. 1, 2.
The hand, he shoots the wall, shoots the laser and long
Yeah.
B.
Okay, so he puts the bombs down. That's
yeah,
one
the
move.
bombs.
He's got the floor laser.
And then he
That's
shoots
move 2.
lasers from his eyes and the hands.
Yeah, he's got the hands, and then he's got the lasers from his eyes.
Yeah, so 4 moves.
4 moves. And those are very static moves. They will always do the same thing, at least within reason. So, very learnable. The second phase is much like the second phase of Colonel, in that he kind of just closes any openings. Whereas in the first phase, you can just power through his first phase, because he leaves himself open to get hit after, like, every move. You just dodge once, and then you can, like, hit him once or twice before he does the next move. In his second phase, he pretty much closes all of his openings. And he does that by kind of just doubling all of his moves. Instead of putting 1 bomb down, he puts 2 bombs down. I don't know if the hand pound and the eye laser are any different.
You mentioned for the hand pound, I think you said that it seemed like the wave got higher.
Maybe. That may have just been me getting lucky dodging it the first time.
It's either it got higher or it got sent out faster. The whole thing seemed to be like his moves either doubled up or got faster, because the eye laser in phase 1, you could just basically stand underneath him the whole time, because he would just always down like that. But when he got into the second phase, he would start down and then spin around and spin to the point to where underneath him wasn't safe anymore.
Yeah, the eye lasers were... He doubled it up. Originally, he only did 1 lap. In the second phase, he does 2 laps around.
Yeah.
Ending in a position where you're not safe. But even still, as long as you're patient, the second phase isn't hard. Because between the bombs and the hands, he leaves no delay to get an attack in. If you try to get an attack in, you'll get hit by his next attack. However, he takes a brief moment to charge up the floor laser, so you can usually get 1 hit in there. And then, as long as you have the reaction time for it. There's a couple times where I think, well, I missed out on my chance, because I just wasn't on the ball quite enough. And then the actual, like, double eye laser thing is where the most of my damage came in, and that's just had to be patient and wait for that dodge until I got to that moment. And As long as you're standing right in the middle, you can hit him 3, maybe 4 times if you're fast enough, and then you have to dodge out of the way the last one. That's how I handled that phase. What I like, though, is that is not required. That's just how the pattern that I picked up on and acclimated myself to. If you wanted to fling yourself up in the air, I don't know, you could probably hookshot off the ceiling if you needed to. Fling yourself up there and just beat the crap out of them and dodge around while you're up there? I am sure you could.
I was going to say, the way the hands are positioned, you could probably, like, wall jump up onto them and just, like, let loose and then dodge back down for whatever attacks he throws at them.
Yeah, like, that's the pattern that I acclimated myself to, but I really appreciate that the game lets you fight things in so many different ways. It's not a, no, you can't hurt me right now. You just have to dodge this move in this one very specific way. And now I'm open, hit me real quick. It's, no, there's just a lot of bullcrap going on, but not an unreasonable or random amount of bullcrap. It's just bullcrap that you have to figure out for yourself how you want to handle. And I really appreciate that. And that's a level of game design, I feel like, that is difficult to do. It's I shouldn't say very easy, but it's much easier to make something that is static, that you can respond to in the way the developer intended.
Essentially, there's one strategy only kind of thing.
But making something that's so freeform, but still very doable, but also challenging, I can't imagine how difficult that would be. And then his final phase is bullcrap. I feel like his final phase, I would be happier if his final phase, the bots you threw at him did twice the damage that they do.
I mean, they do a pretty good chunk as is.
Like, they do a pretty good chunk, but I feel like even if his pattern is static, the bots that he summons are random, or at least add enough randomness to it that you can't deal with it in the same way that you could deal with his previous phases by just, like, learning I dodge this way at this point and this way at this point. There's a lot more you just have to, like, friggin' split-second reaction dodge to things that I'm not as acclimated to. That is not my skill set, is split-second reactions. And, like, dodging around and weaving around the arena in that regard. So, what I ended up not even being able to pay attention to the boss, almost. So, if he had tells for his different moves, of which I think he only had 2.
He only had 2.
He had the double eye lasers and the floor laser.
Technically 3, because summoning the bots is an attack. But yeah, he summons the bots, he has the eye lasers that he aims specifically at you, and then he has the floor laser, which is just the same as it's been, so... Yeah, it's one of those either wall jump through it or dodge slide as you did.
Yeah, and even though he only had, like, the 2 moves, I felt like I was dealing with the enemies so much, and my method of dealing with the enemies so what they do didn't become overwhelming was punch them as fast as possible. Because as soon as you punch them, they're now stunned, and they're not going to be a problem. But then I'm, like, focusing so much on the enemies that I couldn't even tell what the boss was doing. And it doesn't help that I maybe could have learned eventually, like, oh yeah, he summons 3 dudes, you can get this many guys in before he has to do something, and then you can figure out how to handle one thing or another after that. I feel like I probably could have learned it better, but I'm 5 fights into this boss at this point.
That's like last phase, and if you die, you have to do 3 phases all over again, and then
yeah, like I've got to go through 4 phases to get back to that phase just to learn it, and that's rough.
Oh, do you want to talk to Pat and see the achievements? Since
but thankfully, it was still doable. I didn't have to learn that final phase and, like, kill myself getting through that to learn it. I would have been happy if the attacks you did just a little bit more damage, so it was just a little bit less of a pain in the butt, but it was still reasonable. If I had to learn a whole new like attack set and everything and how to deal with every move by the time you got to that point, whew.
Imagine having to be the people who have to do the runs where you don't get any energy increases or health increases.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just about could have handled it. I could beat 3 of those 5 phases without getting hit.
So mostly the reason I didn't have you check is because...
I'm sure there's one, like, at the bottom that says,
there's, like
kill the commander.
There pretty much is one at the bottom. It's like defeat commander circuit or something like that. But it's basically like...
murder the crap out of stuff. Oh, okay, overkill. I was like, wait a minute, but why is that going backwards?
Yeah, that's when you just punch the crap out of them and they turn red.
Look at him go! And I know that's another thing that people in the comments would, I'm absolutely sure, would critique me for, is that I don't use bursts.
You really don't.
If you've seen any of the videos that I've ever put on this channel, that's just how I am. I remember one like playing Mega Man Legends. Why don't you use the secondary weapons? It's just how I am. I have my tool set, I get acclimated to using that tool set. It's a reliable tool set that I know I can always use. Something like the burst, given that it's a consumable resource, and when I'm out of it, I just don't have it anymore, I don't build my skill set around using those, because I can't always rely on them. And because of that, the skill set I've now built just doesn't take those into account. So I never think to use them, even though it would be a nice little, yeah, use it when it's up. It'll help out. Good deal. But the skill set I've built up doesn't even take them into account, because I know I needed to build a skill set that didn't rely on them. Because if I did build a skill set that relies on them, then as soon as I'm out of them, I no longer have a skill set that works. That's just how I am. That's a me thing, I understand that. This is, to a degree, this is also why I don't like using items. Because I know if I'm relying on these items, then as soon as I run out of items, I no longer have a strategy. That kind of deal.
I'll die before I use this full health item.
I do think, as far as the bursts go, the ones that just hit an enemy, I'm less inclined to use. And this was the same in Mega Man Legends. Because, like, oh, why didn't you use this one, like, machine gun arm or whatever? Because I have a buster. If I just need to shoot the enemy, if I just need to hit the enemy, I have a tool that does that. And that's kind of the same here. Like, yeah, they're really unique and could be useful in specific situations, but also, I can just punch things or hookshot things. And I have a skill set built up around doing that. The burst that I ended up using was, and will generally end up using, is support ones. And that's like that shield, which I would absolutely use that. If it's available, use it. That's one hit that I didn't take. That's not something that I have to take into and build into my skill set. It's just something I can use and not think about as soon as I have access to it. By the end, I was just about to just go down the list and make just all of them shield. Just don't trigger that. Don't trigger the other ones. Just make it. Just use the shield. I've gotten most of these now, or a lot of these anyway. I'm sure there's some of the harder ones that are further down.
There should be a couple hard ones coming up here, because they're usually grouped together.
Because, like, we've 100%ed the game, but there's still, like, harder challenges, say.
Yeah, this is the...
Clear the game without collecting any health.
Yeah, no health upgrades, no energy upgrades.
No burst upgrades, no chips.
No chips, and no techniques.
Yeah. And this is, like... these are challenge runs. You'd have to do the whole game again to do that.
Yeah.
And,
And these challenges carry over the whole file.
Yeah.
So that's why specifically at the beginning I didn't want you to check because
yeah, the things that you had done before would already be in.
yeah.
So I would have to start a new game in order to get these, and these are the challenges that I'm generally not as inclined to get
Not really, no.
because you gave me this tool. Why would I not want to use it?
It's for the challenge, man.
Bark, 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 bark. Bow, bow. Shoot the hoop.
That's when you break the tube in the
Yeah.
the office and everything.
I don't know if you got this one or me. I'd believe it either way.
I got that with that circuit boss at the very end
Hmm.
because they use a lot of burst techniques.
Gonna say, you know what? I'll believe that either way. Okay, that's like every fight for me. That is the opposite of me. Any boss without taking damage. We haven't beaten neither of us has beaten a single boss without getting hit.
No.
That feels pretty doable, though.
That's doable. Flawless clear is the annoying one.
Any stage without taking... That would be... Does that include the boss?
Any stage.
Or is it just the stage?
I think it's just the stage.
Because if it's just the stage, that's also pretty doable, I think.
So basically,
Really? We also haven't beaten a single stage without falling into a hazard?
yep, pretty much.
God dang it. What is wrong with us?
The other ones are pretty great. I did that one.
Oh, I've done that several times.
Yeah, but that's from my clear.
Yeah, I was gonna, I've done that several times though because I want my money.
I tried that hook shot only thing.
I'll just die instead.
And I think I messed up somewhere, but yeah, you can hook shot an entire stage.
Yeah, with just the trusty. I mean, it does damage. Put the right chips on so you can. Because there was another chip for the hook shot that drug you to the enemy
Yeah.
or something. And I think somebody pointed out that one in the comments, but I don't like that. I want to stay where I am.
It'd probably be good for clearing over obstacles if you really need to get there.
Yeah, that could be. Don't get by a laser.
That's that one with these are the challenge ones for specific areas because it's like don't get hit by the lasers, don't get hit by the goop, don't get frozen, don't get shocked at all, don't get hit by any of the signs on the highway, don't get hit by any of the sound waves emitted.
Man, we're bad at this.
I got that one pretty easy. Don't let the mech get destroyed. And that one's the fun one, is you just punch Hash for laughing at you.
Didn't I get that one?
I got that one, but you did the same thing too, because the thing is if a clone hits you while Hash is on the field, Hash starts laughing and you can punch him during that whole thing.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty hard. That one's the one I got.
I say it's hard because he just goes at it. It's not just like a super or whatever.
Yeah. That's the one I got, is just the circuit crystal in one go with no retries. Oh, I got a lot of heals out of that one, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I will absolutely... I learn. When I fight somebody, I will, and this is why I said before, I will die to every mechanic once. I will absolutely walk in and just get wrecked. But if it's learnable, I will learn it. So, I am not surprised that I went into that, and, I am not the person you go to for a first-time clear on things. I'm much closer to the person that you go to for a perfect clear. Because I can figure that out. So, beat it first time without retries? No, I'm gonna die. I will absolutely die. I only died once, though, I think.
That one I got separately. This one is the one you got, but just below it. I eventually got this one.
Like, I got grabbed in the first couple tries, but... Like, my winning run, I didn't get grabbed.
Yeah, but I already had the achievement,
Yeah.
so...
Everyone is here! Mission all over!
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then this is just like New Game Plus and all that.
Wonder what New Game Plus is.
It's just basically your equipment now transferred over.
Complete the game in circuit.
I have not tried circuit mode, but I think the idea is that maybe the way it works is that your you have your burst energy, but you can also do more bursts just without it, or either drains your health to use the burst. But I have not tried it at all, so I cannot say otherwise. Oh, of course we have to finish the video with you hookshotting across everywhere.
Oh, of course. I mean, as I said, though, the actual gameplay of this game is absolutely phenomenal. The character controls amazingly. Very responsive, very mobile. You can just go and do things. You don't have to worry about it. Like, anything that you need to do, you can just get around. The hookshot is amazing. And I just like hookshots, so there's that.
Why are you still watching this video? Go buy this game.
Yeah.
Go buy it!
And I also feel like not only are the controls good, but the challenges presented to you are good. Everything is learnable. There's no bullcrap. There's no, like, oh, there's just a whole bunch of randomness here, or I said another thing that can feel bad and, like, isn't your fault is its randomness and can also be expected precision. And I say that because you only have so much control over how precise you can be. And, like, different people are better at doing precise things than others. I'm not super great at it. I'm acceptable at it. But, like... Oh, boy, I was trying to do Moat Skip in Super Metroid, and I don't have the precision for that. It's, like, almost frame precise, and I can't do it. Like, if I do it, I feel like I got lucky, because I just don't have the precision for it. And in that vein... the precision, if the game expects precision of you beyond what you can reasonably do, then whether or not you can pull it off becomes random. And that's where it ceases to feel like it's your fault. And I got a little bit of that jumping on doing like the precise jumping on those little one-tile things, one-tile wide things. It still felt like I failed jumping on it because I didn't land on it right. It still felt like it was my fault. But that was like getting close to I don't have the precision and whether or not I land on this feels a little random. It wasn't so bad, it wasn't so far as to feel bad, but that was kind of borderline for me. And this is also a reason why... No, shut up. Shut up.
This is the reason why.
No, I had... Shut up. I had jumped up over here and hookshotted off of that light at the exact time it blinked. And I was like, did it blink because I hookshotted off of it? And that's all I wanted to test. But no, it was just coincidence. This is one of the reasons why Mega Man has given me trouble and making me frustrated, though. Because in some veins, the Mega Man games have been very learnable, but in others, they have expected more precision out of me than I can reasonably give it. Which makes it feel random. and like I die and it wasn't my fault. There was too much randomness for me to deal with. Or if there's just too much bullcrap going on that you can reasonably wrap your head around, that also feels like it's too random. And
Yeah,
that happens in Mega Man 2 sometimes.
Information overload.
And yeah, that happens there too. And that was a little bit of the final phase of the Commander too.
Yeah.
Like there's just too much going on. Even if I could, if it were possible to like handle everything and deal with everything.
By the Commander, you mean the Devil Gundam.
Yes. So with all that said, though, I do think this game is absolutely amazing. The points that I pointed out as being like, this gave me a little trouble, that's not only were those very, very few and far between, but I feel like that is a critique done with love. Because at no point did any of those issues feel like it was overwhelming or unfair or frustrate me. I don't know how many times I fought the Commander, probably a dozen times.
You never felt bad with the Commander.
But I never felt bad. Every single fight, I felt like I was learning more and getting better and making progress, and when I failed, it was a failing on my part.
Yeah.
Like, at no point did I feel bad during that. And that is a real mark of a good game and a good challenge. That you can do that and do that to someone, and at no point are they, like, frustrated. I mean, I did go, come on, when that guy hit me from
when
across
he
the
socked
arena
you
with
right
that
in the
friggin'
face. Yeah.
with that friggin' baseball. It's like, man, the precision on that guy. Sniper. But still, like... Anyway, I can and have praised... I have praised this game for a very long time, and I very much could continue to do that for a very long time. This is an absolutely amazing game, and I highly, highly suggest everyone go buy it, go play it, give these people your money.
I'm not suggesting you buy it. I'm telling you buy it.
Yeah, I'm demanding it.
There is no negotiation. Buy it now.
You will purchase this. I'm coming.
Vegeta, I'm coming. Anyway, I think I'm Mega Man'd out for the time being.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I think I'm good for now. I could just do this forever, though.
Look at that robot fly.
Yeah, look at that scarf behind him. Yeah, little Mega Man out for now. That level of challenge, I think. I'm ready for something a little more, I don't know, relaxing, let's say.
Oh, if I got a game to relax you, then.